She is a legitimate investigator who understands what to look for, how to spot cap where she sees it, and she's able to she finds consistency, she's finding threads, she's finding trends, she's able to see beyond, because you can't just look at one thing and say and come to a conclusion. There are multiple things that you have to be able to know, and you got to be trained in how to do that.
Has been heavy on my mind. I can't help but feel that this is a pivotal moment where accountability and truth must take center stage, no matter how uncomfortable or inconvenient it might be for those involved. Linda Rary's perspective resonates with me deeply. Her decades of experience as an FBI special agent and private investigator give her the insight to separate fact from fiction in ways most of us could never do. When she lays out why Jonathan and Susie's story is credible, from their unwavering consistency to the corroborated evidence by professionals, I find it hard to see how Daystar can continue to dismiss these claims as meritless. What troubles me the most is Daystar's refusal to face this head on. They've deflected, denied, and doubled down on protecting their image rather than allowing the truth to come to light. If they truly believe in their narrative, why not invite independent investigators to take a closer look? Why not open the doors to an impartial investigation that could finally lay this matter to rest? I can't imagine the courage it's taken for Jonathan and Susie to keep speaking out, especially against such a powerful entity, but I also can't ignore the weight of what's at stake here. This isn't just about a family feud or reputational battles. This is about justice for a child who experienced something no one ever should. Daystar has an opportunity.
Daystar is doubling down.
On the lie! Joni, the lying lamb, not of God. Come on, Joni. And the rest of the organization are, for lack of a better term, just lying and concealing. Protecting a pedo is deplorable. And the fact that this retired FBI agent goes in and exposes the lies, we gonna get into this.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Level Up with Larry and Leo, where we turn trials and opportunities and dreams into reality. My name is Larry, and this is Leo, and we're back at it again.
Back at it again. Thank you guys for checking in. If you want to be a vibe,
subscribe.
Yeah. Hey, we thank you guys for the support. We thank you for the comments. We thank you for the conversation that we're having in the comments. A lot of things that we didn't know, that our community didn't know, are finding out because these things are coming out in bits and pieces. But if you've been following our channel in the path that we've taken to cover this crazy saga, it's not over yet, because they refuse to allow an independent, non-affiliated party to come in and do the work of clearing their name. If you're so convinced, if your discernment is so on point, if you feel the unction of God telling you that this man is innocent, then why not allow an independent investigator? Look, bring in two. Y'all got the money. Y'all got the money. Bring in two independent investigator parties to look at the evidence, interview the people, and come to a determination.
I feel like this is kind of a full circle point of the commentary on the Daystar matter, because ultimately this is the primary objective of all of the content coming out about Daystar. It's for that child to get justice for what happened to her, and this kind of really gives us center stage on what people are really interested in. Like, while Doug and Joni, they're funny to talk about.
Yeah, but they're adults. You know what I mean?
Grown people gonna do what grown people gonna do.
Hey, so what? If you were having an emotional affair before your person died, if you were, anything that you were doing, it don't matter at all.
As long as everything was legal.
Yeah.
We could talk about how shady and messed up it was, but that's not the main thing. The main thing is that Jonathan and Susie knew something was wrong with their daughter, and knew something happened to their daughter,
Yeah.
and they were looking for the organization that his parents ran to actually do some level of investigation for their granddaughter.
Mm-hmm.
How difficult is that? However,
when the accused is also part of your family, or at very least extended family, then it becomes dicey, and now you're picking someone who is an adult over a child. Like, it baffles me. Why would a child make up something like that?
and why would
5 years old, bro.
yeah, that's
At 5? Come on, bro.
or trying to say, oh, it really happened at school. That's what really happened. It wasn't really what she said happened. Like,
It enrages me. Like, not a lot of things make me like see red type mad, but it enrages me. And I don't even have daughters, so I could only imagine for you, brother. Just it, like, that is something that I would be okay with stepping into the penitentiary for inflicting harm on the perpetrator.
oh, I've mentioned multiple times, I ain't got no problem with full-time prison ministry under certain circumstances. And that's the only option. Like, hey, I got to make sure that
full time. And you know, if you get tried in jury of your own peers, they're not gonna go heavy on the time. They're not, because they could put themselves in that situation. Like, yeah.
When you're talking about child abuse, man, it is probably one of the most difficult things to talk about, and especially when it comes to in a ministry context. Ministries really have to do a better job of protecting children inside of their ministry. Like, that needs to be like one of the biggest priorities. And we've talked about this multiple times on our channel.
Yeah.
Like, this is something that is really important. And for you to try to cover up the ministry, like cover up the thing just so that way the ministry can survive and continue to do what it's doing, it's just messed up and it's gross. And
let's explore a hypothetical, right? Let's explore a hypothetical. So hypothetically, if the in-law that is alleged to be the Pete in this story, if he is the party that is the abuser, you as the spouse of the accuser, I don't know how you would be. Okay, you see that they're doing this to, or they're accused of doing this to your niece, yet you vehemently, like boisterously, just come out and say, no, it's all a ploy. It never happened. It's only to gain power. And you don't even give the possibility of it being true a moment to breathe. All the while, if it is true, you are protecting someone who has afflicted a member of your family and may have afflicted their own. So, like, I don't understand the desire or the need to protect. I would champion the need to independently investigate, find out what's going on, and hopefully get their name cleared. If their name is cleared, then yes, okay, this was what it was, but we got an independent party coming in saying the name is clear. But just to conceal it, right now, what you're doing is you're leaving the possibility for a bigger bomb to go off.
Which is what's happening. Here's an interesting thing, and I haven't connected the two until just now. You remember when they basically tried to put Marcus on blast over his affairs. They said you need to pay this amount of money.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden we are on an exposure Eminem style.
Yeah, Dr. Phil. Yep.
But we're basically saying we're going to control the narrative.
Of course.
The reason I bring that up is like, it's not as if y'all have not dealt with indiscretion happening in your ministry before.
Mm-hmm.
But the motivator for it then was all about protecting your bag. The thing that hurt the worst to you was, oh, they're trying to get money from me. That caused all types of action and being
righteous
proactive.
Indignation. How
now, yeah,
or blackmail me for my.
And then and what was even wilder was the fact that they used it as an angle to generate more ministry and more business. Ultimately, They're like, hey, we're going to show couples how to recover their marriage after there's an affair. We're actually going to use this as a ministry opportunity.
Enter Dougie Fresh.
I never thought of that, but that would be wild if that's when Doug showed up, like actually became one of their prominent programs. But now you see this happen, and instead of saying, hey, we've dealt with something like this before, let's just deal with it. We're gonna, like, Marcus could have been like, you know what, let's get the investigator, let's make sure everything is good. And then if something does happen, hey, dude, Pete, you're going to jail, or I'm going to kill you, or one of the two. Right? And you could have come out.
It might have been both, because pedos don't last long in jail, man.
No, you gotta get in protective custody.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I don't trust the justice system. I gotta be apostolic, get 238s and take care of it.
Not 238.
Joni and Marcus, Jonathan and Susie could have come out, talked about it. This also could have been a ministry opportunity. Say, hey, this is what happened. A lot of
people have been hurt in that way.
Absolutely. You could have brought on people who specialize in helping kids deal with that. Yeah, one of your daughters is going to crash out, but listen, you should have known she was going to crash out eventually anyways.
Yeah. And you could insulate her as, hey, she didn't know.
Yeah.
She's just now finding out the same time.
Now, if she did know, then there's no protecting that.
Yeah, no.
There's no like, hey, it is what it is. Like, and I can see from Marcus's perspective, how you don't. It's a stick. I'm not going to act like this is just an easy thing to deal with. It's a very difficult thing to deal with, but something that you have to deal with. Just thinking that covering it up and doubling down and saying no, this and just staying with some bogus explanation of what happened and having all of these weird, stupid press releases that absolutely make you look worse and doesn't do anything to plead your cause unless you're dealing with the most dumb, just the absolute most brainless Christians that just feel like anything that you say is gold. Everyone else sees the cap. It's like cap everywhere. Nothing but cap.
There's some out there. Bro, there are people that are willfully ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
And we know them. Okay. And
they've been slowly cooked in this stew of submission.
Submission stew.
And they've been just been really well cooked to just basically take whatever is being thrown in them.
Yeah.
They just take it. They're just like, hey, yeah, no diddy.
No daddy.
And that's and for you to build a ministry off of people like that is is just dumb. And those people are dying off, and those are becoming more and more rare. I do believe that over the past years of these things coming out and more content like this being circulated out there, those are becoming less and less frequent. You can't build anything off of those people anymore. Like, do you like and I'm not saying they don't exist, and I'm not saying that there still isn't a market for that, but it's becoming a more and more of a rare market to find people that are just going to roll with you till the wheels fall off.
Yeah. And again, just all the alleged stuff, all these hypotheticals, we know for a fact that Daystar as an organization has lied.
Yeah.
It has been corroborated. It has been just exposed in the smallest way when they said that Jonathan went on a sabbatical when they placed him on leave.
Yeah.
So that could have been worded differently to say, hey, we've asked Jonathan to step away to focus on some other stuff. You know what I mean? But you chose the path of deceit. So that tells me if you're willing and able to lie about something that small, when it's something that your whole organization
is built off of,
like, I don't know, bro. I'm thinking you lying to protect that.
And here's the wild part. And then this is all just speculation, because it's like you're trying to get in the mind of somebody of what would make people move this way, right? Like you're trying to make sense of it. Like you're trying to put all the pieces together when there's so many layers to it. Oh my gosh, it's so difficult to dissect all of this. But like, bro, you guys have dealt with scandal before.
Yeah.
You could have leveraged it, like if you're just thinking about the back particularly, and you want to salvage some level of your family's, health or anything like that, because not only are you losing this not only is this ministry going down,
your family,
you're losing your family, like, and and you chose Doug. At the end of the day, it's just gonna be you and Doug.
Yeah, Doug can't be the head of this family anymore. So now it's gone from
you and Doug
patriarchal to matriarchal, because Joni is now, supposed to be the head of this family, not just the head of the network. Like, and the way she's moving is really erratic.
The Daystar is really becoming the Death Star, because it's about to die. Like, it's on life support right now, and y'all are trying to keep this thing alive. You've already damaged your family. It is I don't see how your family comes back from this.
Yeah.
This, like, there is no way. You've lost all type of credibility with so many people. And it's like, why did you die on this hill? Like, what was it that you were trying to protect that you couldn't let get out there? Because when you hire a private investigator, they're gonna see more than just what they're looking at. In this case, they're gonna there's gonna be more things to be exposed. So why?
That's why. That's probably why they don't want to do it, because they know that it's possible there's more skeletons in that closet.
The only thing that they would want to keep things under wraps for real is if they knew if anything like this got out, then multiple people are going to prison.
And that they've hid it before.
So it's
like
not
maybe he's done it and they've hidden it before.
This is not simply, okay, we're just trying to protect the brand or the bag. Y'all trying to keep people out of jail. So there has been illegal activity going down in Daystar, and y'all know that this would just open up a can of worms that you can't let back. So you got to protect it at any cost. And good riddance.
Bro.
Good riddance.
Let's check out the other part of this video real quick. Let's talk about this investigator.
I've taken a few days off of X while getting some work done, amusing about how ridiculous the Daystar team's news that they were informed that the CSA investigation was closed because there was no merit. I'm not even going to respond to them anymore because it is so ridiculous. So I decided to write some thoughts down as to why I see that the credibility is on the side of Jonathan and Susie. I don't come to this conclusion as an armchair quarterback. I came to it with 25 years with the FBI, 23 having been a special agent, and approximately 7 years as a licensed private investigator. I have quite a bit of experience in ferreting out falsehoods and misdirection. Here are some things to consider when evaluating the validity information of witness statements obtained in the course of an investigation. Was it provided by someone who had direct knowledge of the matter? Were they physically present or in a position to observe or overhear? Were they directly involved? Is it corroborated by other data, such as other witnesses with direct knowledge, recorded conversations, texts, phone calls, messages, social media postings, documents, videos, or photographs? Has the witness been consistent with the details of the matter? It is reasonable for a witness to recall additional details after the initial interview. Is the source a subject expert on the matter at hand? Are they of good repute? Is the information provided plausible? Does the person providing the information have an agenda? Secondhand information is referred to as hearsay and is not admissible in court, but can be helpful in identifying other witnesses. Also, CSA investigations, while they are numerous, they are unique. They require skills and tactics that aren't usually necessary in typical criminal investigations. Here are some examples that make me tend towards the veracity of Jonathan and Susie Lamb's testimony. 1. Their story has been consistent throughout the years. 2. Their version of what the daughter told them had happened to her and their description of the change in her personality and fearful reactions to a certain family member subsequent to the alleged incident has remained consistent. 2 reliable witnesses, which includes a licensed professional counselor who also holds certification in forensic counseling, concur that the daughter was displaying trauma reactions consistent with CSA. 3, the initial trip to the school with Joni to talk to the teachers and investigate if the abuser was related to the school does not take away from the veracity of the child's complaint because Susie unwittingly asked leading questions regarding where her daughter originally disclosed the abuse happened. 4, their dropping of the CSA matter with the family was based upon false information provided to them via Marcus Lamb, who had been told by Rachel Lamb that Debbie Leonhardt, the licensed professional counselor with certification in forensic counseling, had cleared Pete of any involvement in the CSA. That this was false is attested to by 2 reliable witnesses not related to the family. 5, their versions of what transpired in the Daystar board meetings are corroborated by the legal clandestine audio recordings of the meeting, while other attendees denied what was clearly recorded. On the Daystar side, my observations are that their narrative relies on hearsay information and opinion, clearly debunked information and information that has no corroboration outside of their tight circle.
Bro, this is the level of thoroughness that she was able to you could tell she's not an armchair quarterback, like she said. Like she is a legitimate investigator who understands what to look for, how to spot cap where she sees it, and she finds consistency. She's finding threads, she's finding trends, she's able to see beyond, because you can't just look at one thing and come to a conclusion. There are multiple things that you have to be able to know, and you got to be trained in how to do that.
You remember old boy that we talked about when we were talking about Doug saying, I have discernment that in 5 minutes I could determine whether he was lying to me or not.
Hearsay.
He laid out nothing. That dude, I can't remember his name right now. Remind me in the comments.
What's his name?
The folks that remind me in the comments. I can't remember his name right now.
The counselor, yeah.
But he was like, I know that Doug is telling the truth because I've talked to people that are victims of abuse. But nowhere in that conversation does he point out this, that, and just like she laid out, okay, these are the patterns of inconsistency. And she's going to go on and talk about how the acronym DARVO is used by perpetrators to deny, attack, reverse, victim, and offender. So then they play the victim because they deny it, they attack you, and then they play the victim. Like, woe is me. Why are you attacking? I'm in this situation. So bravo. But she's telling us something that if you have been lied to before, you know what it looks like. And we know that y'all have lied before, and we believe that you're lying again.
And even if you haven't lied before, it's like there's just like you have to come with receipts, evidence. You have to come with some level of argument that makes sense. There has to be some level of cohesion in what and there has to be a timeline. There has to be ways in which we can verify what it is that you're saying. It's just like this idea that you can just say something to me and then I'm just all of a sudden supposed to say, oh yeah. Like, dude.
And accept everything I tell you.
That is the thing. Like,
check your brain at the door, my friend.
Ministry leaders. There is a bigger lesson here. If you are going to be in ministry in 2025, you are dealing every single year as the years progress, we are dealing with a more and more informed audience. Our audiences, the people that we are trying to win, that we are trying to convince to allow us to lead them into the knowledge of the truth, are more and more informed
and skeptical
and have access to more information than you have ever dealt with before. And you can tell those that are cool with it and the ones that are just like, dang.
Now you got to actually do work.
Now I got to study for my sermons. Now I got to do this and that. Like, yes, like lazy leadership has to be a thing in the past. What once worked doesn't work no more. You gotta update your playbook. Your playbook gotta be different. And when it comes to this type of stuff, now, when it comes to covering up mess like this, you gonna get caught.
And the statute of limitations on stuff like that, on essay, especially child essay, CSA.
Dude, I just saw a story break just yesterday. This young kid right here, this young guy talked about when I think he's 19 now. He's 12. Same name as my son, which just kind of broke me, bro. I was so heartbroken. Here in Georgia, gave like thorough receipts of how this teacher, who was also a ministry leader, literally molested him in the worst possible ways. Starting when he was 12. And bro, if you listen to him give the details of it, it will shake you to your core.
Bro.
But the reason I even bring that up is if you look in like the thread, because he starts just dropping stuff on Facebook, the guy who he was talking about is a teacher right here in my county. And the amount of folks saying, okay, yeah, we're contacting the school board this morning. Like mama's on deck, like, yo, we out here. We about to shut this person down. They're blasting them all over social media. Because the thing is, when this type of stuff happens, even if it's a long time, not 7 years ago, he's a grown man now. There's no statute of limitations in most states. Most states are getting rid of them. Baby Lamb will be an adult.
And that those
right
type
now,
of memories,
she just has her parents. Eventually, she's gonna be able to say exactly what happened. Pete will be disclosed eventually. So y'all are just buying time anyways.
Might as well get ahead of it. But I don't know who's their PR. I don't know who's their public relations folks.
But I'm not even trying to give them advice. Yo, you know what? In fact, Daystar, just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing just fine. Not trying to give no advice to some pedo cover up
corporation.
Yo, y'all are doing a great job.
That's the sarcastic clap.
Congrats.
Y'all get y'all brother, man.
Just keep doing what you're doing. No, real talk. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to do. This playbook is obviously a Super Bowl winner. Just keep running it.
You know how we talked about Succession many months ago?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Marcus did a terrible job by setting that precedent for Succession. He did a terrible job by just coming in, calling them in and be like, hey, Pete's innocent. Let's drop it. Boom. Like, come on, bro. You're setting that. To me, was one of the many of the sparks or catalysts that brought us to where we are today, and that will be what ultimately destroys Daystar, in my opinion.
It's such a cautionary tale. How you can spend your entire life building something, and one mistake, it's destroyed. It's just
he's passed away, what, 3 years? 3 years ago? Bro, something you spent 30 years building in 3 years is starting to crumble. Like,
and you know what's funny? Because obviously Daystar is really, like, it was built all on deceit and trash and just pure manipulation and just shady business practices and all of the above. But, like, here's what's even crazier and scarier. Like, even if you built something right, and even if you did the right thing most of the time, you mess up one time, that's all anyone's going to remember.
Yeah.
It's the unfortunate thing, man. It's life,
especially when it's in the hands of somebody else who doesn't have your experience, who didn't put in the sweat equity as like you did to learn from the bruises and like, I don't know, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
I bet you most of the people back when David was king and he did all the stuff with Bathsheba and all that stuff went down, they didn't think of him as a good king when he left. They're like, man, he just messed up.
I don't know
either.
But I mean, I believe that it's not too late, Daystar, to do the right thing. It's never too late to do the right thing.
It's not too late for them to do the right thing, but not.
You're still going to face the consequences, right? David did the right thing, confess, he still faced the consequences.
I don't think you can salvage the company at this point. I think they're.
I disagree. There's a path forward, but it's going to be painful.
The amount of detest that people have towards them,
it's going to be painful. No, I don't. It could happen, but it will necessitate them bringing Jonathan back into the inner circle, exposing Pete, clearing that up, talking to the parties, talking to the public, and just building it back up. Have a transformation, have a Paul-like moment, like, yo, I was wilding. Now I see the error of my ways. Now we're going to be more transparent. We're going to lead in a more transparent way, and we're gonna go digital as well as the linear broadcasting, and build it from there, bro. I believe that there is a path forward, but some folks are going to have to go to jail. But there's a path forward. I don't think it's too late. But I don't think it's too late. There's a path forward.
I know my mic's going to sound crappy. It's switched and I can't switch it back.
No! But it's cool. It's cool. I think we've given the people our opinion on this. Thank you to this retired FBI agent for just telling us what we already know, but giving more credibility to what we already know as they're lying, concealing, and they are trying to blame the victim, saying, hey, he's just trying to take over the company. Nothing like, he really didn't care about his daughter. He just wants the position. Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
Close this out, bro.
If you want to be a vibe. Oh, man, that sounds awful. Subscribe. Like. Comment. Share. Let's have the conversation. We thank you for being part of our community. We're trying to get to 1,000. So hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. If you stayed this long, or if you just skipped ahead, we don't care. Like, subscribe, comment. We love y'all. Peace.